follow you in this path. Well, the rules are very simple. You are going to have 30 seconds to think and 1 minute to answer, unless we are going to give you different directions. I'm going to repeat the question once. You are going to see the question in the chat here. And if you have any specific requests, please tell me. When 1 minute is going to be over, I will tell you thank you so much, and we are going to pass to the next question, okay?
Okay.
So amazing, good luck to everybody. We can start with the first question. I'm going to give the order of the answer every single time, okay? Amazing. So the first question is for everyone. The order is Mara, Evandro, Fernanda, Pietro, Grazia, Saraceno, Matteucci, and Andrea. And the question is, what is one of the issues of Isaac in Italy as a country that you particularly care about, and why? You have 30 seconds from now. Thirty seconds are passed. You can start.
Amazing. I was just about to say I'm ready. So one of the main issues from Italy as a country that I care about is the refugee crisis. This started already a while ago when I was working a side job to encourage people to donate to a charity that was contributing to the refugee, or that was trying to help the refugee crisis. And why this personally why I really care about this is because I truly believe that a person doesn't choose where they are born. So I truly believe that country borders are something that we shouldn't stick to as much, by saying that a person cannot stay in Europe because they're not born here. So I really believe we need to find a better solution that's more humane, and that shows more care towards every person as an individual. And that is why I care a lot about the refugee crisis.
Thank you so much. Evandro, you can go.
Okay. So basically, I'll be honest, I haven't spent a lot of time going too deep in the country situation right now. Besides the refugee crisis that my dear friend just mentioned, to be honest, I can't think of something right now. So, like issues as a country, like Patrick, I can't think of that right now. I'm sorry.
Fine. Next one can go.
Okay, so from my side, I think the empowerment of women in the political situation, for example, the situation with Matteo Salvini that I was reading about, it was like feeling super passionate, because young people are right now being like not self-aware about how politics can affect so much to other people. So for me, this case is actually something that inspires me a lot, and how we can empower these people to don't be scared of these kind of situations and actually stand up for this, to make it like a little bit more outstanding in terms of like how women can be in politics without being like being treated badly or something with these kind of cases.
Thank you so much. Pietro?
Okay, so for me, the issue I most care about is the xenophobia wave that we are currently experiencing, because it's a symptom, in my opinion, of a huge insecurity that we have as Italians. Like, we are not secure of ourselves, of our country, and also because this proves that we cannot accept diversity. We are not open to cultural diversity and cultural understanding, and this is one of the values that I most care about. And so this is something that really bothers me about Italy.
Thank you so much. Next can go.
Okay, if I should choose one problem in this moment in Italy, I played Joker, the Jolly card, I can say, and is the closed-open mindset, I think, because it's the thing that it's at the base and that include all the other problems. So the racism and other things that I think that are so grave in this moment.
Thank you, Saraceno, you can go.
Thank you. Okay, in this very moment, I really care about gender inequality because I made some studies about it during my master, and two topics are really unhealthy for Italy, in my opinion: the job salary differences, and most of all, the social violence. Because I know that a woman on three is a victim or of feminist violence or domestic violence. But one of the most important issues is that public opinion is not really interested anymore on the topic. So for me, it's one of the main problem that we have, and Italy is not talking about is not talking enough about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Other Marco, you can go.
Okay, the issue I care and I'm more worried about in Italy is actually disinformation, that I believe is the basic of all the problem that we have, like all the prejudices being about immigrants or about differences in general, all the ignorance about climate change and the fact that we are destroying our environment, the fact that in Italy there are no vaccine, people that still cannot trust the science is symptom of incapability to grow where the rest of the world is doing in possibility to spread information, and that's worrying me.
Thank you. Andrea, you can go.
So basically what I think is that one of the most issues is actually the attitude of our government, both internally and externally. What I mean is that basically, for example, for youth people, in my opinion, governments is not allowing people to believe in the strengths and not in the weaknesses, and not only in the youth, for example, for financial services for family with kids and also for people, we are not exactly on the same page of other states, and also externally because our government is like taking part in like with the like for example with Brazil, and also like not respecting, for example, Accordo di Parigi, but that's just like examples. Is the right in general is the kind of leadership that we are having, and I don't think it's like empowering Italy as country.
Thank you so much. We are done with the first question. We go now to the question for the digital marketing candidates. As well, you are going to have 30 seconds to think and 1 minute to answer. 30 seconds are for both the candidates. If you feel ready before, you can go when you are ready. Okay, so the first question is, and Evandro starts, how would you implement the return of investment tracking from digital marketing investment at local level? The question is from Bologna.
Okay, so talking about ROI, we have to understand which are the campaigns that are bringing us leads and how are those leads behaving and on our customer flow. So basically, we have to integrate Facebook ads account with a tool of marketing automation. We can use HubSpot, we can use other tools to help tracking this leads generation, this lead source, understand how are they going through the behavior, through the customer flow, and if they are finally becoming our customers or not. So basically, not only to understand how can we measure the return of the investment, but also to be able to scale it up, to rise it, once we will be able to understand which ads are bringing more results from which specific target public or for which specific kind of projects they are going through. So we will be able to map and to improve our ads and to create ads focused on the personas and in the projects or in the issues that are bringing more people. So basically, to implement this, we have to use this tool or integrate this straight to Expa. I'm actually working with this right now here in Peru. I created the integration with our automatization tool with our Facebook ads account. So now we can see how is our leads, like each specific lead, this tool map the leads that comes from Facebook ads. Okay.
Mara, you have 1 minute to answer.
All right, already great answers, I think, or great input until now. What I would start with is choosing a proper system, probably a CRM system which allows us to track a lead sign up until approve or until realize, preferably. So in the Netherlands, we're currently working with Salesforce, but this is quite an elaborate CRM tool, and I think indeed HubSpot could also be an option. But either way, we need to choose a system that allows us to track someone from the moment they sign up until the moment they approve, and we need to be able to specify through which channels they've signed up. And I think Expat doesn't allow us to do this properly yet, to see like the people who've signed up through a specific Facebook campaign, how many of those have we actually managed to approve. So once we've found a proper system, we can look into how we can specify this down to the level of specific campaigns. So for example, we can use a certain code in the URL.
Okay. So next question is for the B2C candidates. And the question, Mara, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, the question is from MC, and is why, in your opinion, during the Black Week was not good as GV1, and how would you improve? And the order is Grazia, Pietro, and Fernanda. You have 30 seconds to think. Grazia, you can go.
Okay. Allora, I think that the most problem is the customer personas understanding and the channel that we use in this moment to arrive to our customer personas. And another problem is the timeline in this case, because for G and for GT in particular, we need more time for not only promoting our event, but for organize the event that we have in a particular way that can concern a special attractive method that can be, I don't know, a partner that can tell about the importance of an internship or the other things. But I think that the most problem that we have in this moment for GT department is that we need to exploit better our market and to understand.
Grazia. Pietro, you can go. You have 1 minute.
Okay, I am super aligned with Grazia in the fact that one of the main problems that still we struggle to understand are GE and GT market, and now we can promote to them and how we can customize our experiences to their needs. Then also with the one of the other problems was the delay in the organization in the local level of the event, because it was supposed to be 1 week before the GV event, but many else only focused on the GV event, but were too in delay to prepare the G event for that week, so they were not focusing on that. And no, that's the main issues in my opinion.
Okay, thank you so much. So Fernanda, you can go.
Great. So for me, I think the most important is understanding customer personas. So for GV, it's quite easy in terms that you are solving the problem of pricing. So they get like this stuff super fast. But for GGT, the problem is not mostly the pricing in terms of taking the decision super fast. The problem is how they are being assisted. So for sure, the campaign could be better if the assistance could be done before them, and the campaign is done way much time before, and that campaign as Black Friday should be done just for the people who are having this trouble of pricing, of like not having the money or having this stuff, because it's mostly focused on how to solve this situation and mindset that customers are having.
Thank you so much. Next question is for Saraceno and Matteucci. And the question is the following. Which are the 3 action steps to establish CSR strategy? Matteucci, you start, and then Saraceno, 30 seconds starts now. You can start.
Okay, 3 action steps to ensure the CSR strategy would be creation of customer personas for companies in order to understand which companies can provide better services that are aligned to our experiences, and then can be more useful to provide OGX scholarships, and which companies are better to open projects on, or that are more willing to open branded projects about one topic they care more about Italy. And another action steps would be boosting relevance of the fact that IESEC is doing CSR in Italy since the origins, because we should also make our voice louder, in sense companies should start looking for us, and not only us looking for companies.
Thank you so much. Okay. Saraceno, you can go. You have 1 minute.
Okay, thank you. Really nice input from Marco, and I'm pretty aligned, because I think first step would be doing a market research, focus based. I mean, we have to think about which will be the focus on which ISEC Italia want to focus. So to build a value proposition for this kind of stakeholders. Second of all, I think we should create a selling package, like to go to the companies with a specific proposal that will allow us to sell them a lot of things, not just once, not just CSR, but even a scholarship if we need it. And third, we should start with companies that already have a CSR manager, in order to be easier to communicate with them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This question was from Pavia and Trieste. Next question is from Pavia and Verona, and is for Andrea. And the question is, how would you ensure your national partners have a concrete implementation in local realities? CRI, for example. You have 30 seconds from now. You can go.
Okay, so basically, first of all, I would try to do a market analysis, which allow me to create protocolli d'intesa for more than one organization. Because, for example, we saw clearly with SPRAR that it was adding value to some kind of ELSIS, but not to a good part. Another thing is that I would go more for shared revenues, which means that basically there are like these protocolli d'intesa, but it's like more openings. So the downscaling is more, how can I say, speedy, and it will ensure like a process time of less time from openings to like approval. And then also I will improve a lot the CSR, so for IGV, so the synergy between corporate and third sector, because through GCPs and chat, I have the possibility to see that in other.
Thank you so much. Next question is from Bologna and Palermo, and is for digital marketing candidates. Mara starts, and the question is, how would you raise the quality of digital marketing at local level? You have 30 seconds from now. Mara, you can go. You have 1 minute to answer.
All right, thank you. I would focus on educating the local entities on 3 main parts: on content creation, targetization, and ROI understanding, kind of relating back to the first question. So in content creation, I would really help, okay, how can you, with a low amount of efforts, create really good looking content? Because I know that we're missing qualities here on local level. For targetization, I would help, how can you adjust your advertising or your digital marketing strategies in such a way that you use the local or the national customer personas? And for ROI understanding, I would help with, how can you interpret the data in such a way and do simple A/B testing in order to take better data-driven decisions to improve the quality of your digital marketing.
Thank you. Evandro, you can go.
Okay, so I would start with education as well, and as well as Mara, I would like divide the education in 3 parts, like the content part, the content creation, like to educate how good the content can be, to create standards for content creation, and how can this content be created. The persona focus, and so how can we understand the persona and to target our audience as good as we can. And the third one is that analysis and ROI, because one of the things that mainly is concerning me right now in the situation that we are working with ROI is that the ROI, it's the cost per ad per lead is increasing, and we need to start understanding what are the other solutions that we have to decrease this ROI, and to understand it's basically analyze data and also test the ads that we have. The second thing would be implementation. So I would have an implementation plan and implementation track with the national structure. So basically have one people focused on helping the committees to implement.
Thank you so much, Evandro. Your time is up.
Okay.
This question is from MC and is for B2C. The order is Pietro, Fernanda, and Grazia. And the question says, taking into consideration what happened in the last winter peak in Isaac in Italy in terms of strategies and timeline shift, suggest 3 improvements point that you would like to implement from marketing point of view. You have 30 seconds to think. Time is up. You have 1 minute to answer.
Sorry. Okay, so the three improvements I would do is first an anticipation of all the promo for the customer personas. What do I mean? Like, for example, we started to promote customer persona in winter peak in September, but we should start to promote them way before. Then and also the summer peak realization also in November, not so that it can consider with the biggest OGX peak. The second one is the continuity with the structured campaigns based on event management, but also extended to G and GT. And we should start by understanding how our local markets actually need G and GT, and how we can structure those campaigns on them. And then the third one is admission intended as wave campaigns, so shorter, not 6 weeks as we.
Fernanda, okay. You can start. You have 1 minute.
Okay, so the first one I think is umbrella strategies, to have it for at least 3 or 6 months that can gather a lot of, I don't know, monthly strategies to have like a constant marketing strategy for it and not be that confused for the LCs. Then also the digital and physical synergy should be always, it shouldn't be like sometimes when there's a peak, the whole ecosystem should be together. That also comes for the third one, that is how the content for the customers are aligned in any kind of channel they are approaching. So right now we are having the SOPs, all the procedures are quite settled and done. We are measuring time rates and etc. But it also helps a lot if any kind of person in the customer flow has the same amount of information when they arrive to open, so the conversion could be faster and easier.
Thank you so much. Grazie, you can start.
Okay. Thank you for the question, and I think that one of the key in this case is an execution calendar well organized in terms of customer personas segmentation. And there are many bottlenecks about the customer personas in this winter peak, because people not understand the importance of to targetize the market. And the other thing is standardization of execution in terms of constancy in promoting. And the third thing is synergy between TM and all the operation and digital marketing to guarantee not only integrated marketing, but a good communication between the operation and TM.
Thank you so much. Next question is for Marquis. Saraceno, you start. And the question is from MC, and it says, how would you evolve the agenda for the ER-B currents on Winco 2020? You have 30 seconds to think. You can go.
Thank you. I have 2 points that I would like to talk about. The first one is I would like to talk to the bring to the conference some companies and realities that are affecting the social issues that with the rest of MC we think that is really relevant for Isaac in Italy in this really moment. And second of all, I would like also to bring to the conference some startups, because it's companies that I really care about it, and it's young people like us, and they are really example of young leadership. So I think it's cool to involve them, try to understand how to get revenues from them and how to use empowering branding for them. And thank you.
Thank you, Marco. You can start. The other one.
Okay, I will implement the agenda for the ER-B currents by, first of all, separating in a strict way like a piece of the agenda in which there are companies introducing themselves, introducing the values, introducing what they do and why they're a good environment for an employer to grow in, and a day in which they put everything in practice. So there are workshop keynotes in which the members are more involved, called to the action. And then last thing, I would like to see like companies testing people, because ISEGers are like proactive young people that like to be tested, and companies, I guess that companies are also interested in understanding the value and the skills of those young people. So would be a win-win in my opinion. This for all the backgrounds, not just economics or most common backgrounds, but I would implement it. Okay.
Time is up. Next question is for Andrea and is from Bologna. So the question is, which are, in your opinion, the main elements on which the third sector should focus on? Time is up. You can go.
Okay, so basically the first thing would be for sure the contribution in terms of openings. So I would go for stable partnership. What I mean is that basically it can be possible that we have partnership, for example, with Miur, and then with one person that changed, the partnership is not working anymore. Like I would go for more stable partnership. So I will try to understand the market and the right person to refer. Then the formation, because the market is changing and the third sector is really affected by the external issues. So I would go more for events in which we can networking, both for selling skills, both for awareness. And third one, education of ELSIS. So I really support the work that Jobbia and Marge are doing right now with finance, because I think it's really, really like it could be a game changer. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So the next question is for the digital marketing candidates, and is from Bari. And the question says, which is the digital channels that you could really be the game changer in your strategy? And Evandro starts. Evandro, you have 1 minute to answer.
Okay, so we know that Facebook is dropping a number of access and everything, but we still have to use, and we still can get something from it. But the main channel that we're going to use is Instagram, because we know we are evolving and Instagram as a platform is growing, but also to improve the number of organic results that we have and to lower the costs that we have in ads. We have to implement blogging and to start evolution of how we will work with our web page. So we have to connect our web page with our Facebook ads account. We have to connect our web page with Expa, so we'll be able to track how's the conversion rate from our landing page and how the people that are visiting our web page are going through Expa and how they're behaving inside our platform. And also, when talking about nurturing, we not only have to add mailing nurturing, but also start to use chat as a nurturing platform, as Crispy, that is a global initiative, but also the implementation of chatbots. Okay.
Mara, you can go.
Thank you. So actually, Evandro's last point was going to be my main digital channel. That would be our game changer. I think CRISP, so our integrated messaging tool on the Youth Opportunities platform, is our main game changer. Mainly because when I envision a fully customer optimized flow, especially until the moment of sign up and until the moment of apply, I can imagine that the customer is really helped through specific automated messages on CRISP. So when they're at a certain page, they get an automated message on CRISP asking like, hey, do you need help? Would you like to see the opportunities that we recommend? Would you like to schedule an appointment at a local office? We can do so many things on there that people get the right help at the right time when they're still on the platform, so that they can, if they want, do everything from the comfort of their home.
Thank you so much. Next question is for the B2C candidates. The order is going to be Fernanda, Grazia, and Pietro. And the question is from Isaac in Bologna, and it says, underline two main problems in the education that the entities is having. How would you transmit them education and tools for learning and improving? You have 30 seconds to think. You can go.
Great. So the first one, I think, is creating summits for them to create the whole content of education, make it more easier, accessible for them, in terms of like creating videos, creating all this education that will be like eager them to be more creative, more curious about the field. Also to make it more accessible, the tools that we are having it, in terms like, for example, there are people that are not quite trained in really hard tools like Photoshop or something like this. So there is actually quite a lot of tools that are quite free and accessible that will make the whole work for them quite easier. And the last but not least, how to make the whole commission being trainers of other LCs. They are really good at this. They have like a really good knowledge, and actually also having other companies that can bring all this knowledge from the outside world will make them more eager to understand and how this could be useful for them in their normal life.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I think that learning by doing is the best way to have a good knowledge and a good preparation in sales and everything. So the first thing is training. The second thing is priorities. So based on the priorities of the period or the peak or the waves, everything, to give to LCs some priorities to focus on that, and that's it. And the clear communication in booklet, because it's more easy to downscaling booklet and to understand for people that have I don't know, problem with languages or video, because are a mess in the moment that you can't give attention at video. So I think that booklet is the best way. Thank you.
Yes, you can start.
Okay, so the main problems, in my opinion, are how we targetize and how we give correct call to actions. In how we can transmit those education, I think that every local committee should create these, let's call them selling boot camps. So like a week where they do intensity of physical activities or selling activities in general, so that they can practice more what we do and how to actually sell in a better way, and then create a good and well-organized knowledge center where all the booklets, guidelines, videos can be uploaded, also from the LC, also GTPs from specific. Yeah, that's the thing.
Thank you so much. Next question is for Marquis Matteucci starts, and is from MC. The question says, How would you structure the ER portfolio for corporate? You have 30 seconds to think. Matteucci, you can start. Marco
Okay,
Matteucci.
sorry, I was talking with the microphone turned off. I would keep more or less everything how it is. I would improve basically only 2 points that are brand visibility. I would push more on the fact that the brand involving with ISEC and in certain missions gets, let's say, a good reputation of itself. And employer branding, that is also a good opportunity for the corporate to develop their membership and also ours. That's it.
Thank you, Saraceno. You have 1 minute from now.
Much. I'm super aligned with what Marco said. I will put on the same level CSR and youth engagement, because youth engagement can bring us cash flow, but on the long-term vision, I think CSR will be a really game changer for Italy. About youth engagement, of course, it will give us, as Marco said, employer branding for employer of the companies, but most of all for ISECer, because they will understand how professional ISEC could be. And about CSR, I think, and also about scholarship, that, as I said before, could be together in a selling package for companies. We could give this partnership more visibility by providing the companies promotional materials that people can do abroad for with our projects. And yes, that's it.
Thank you so much, Marco. We can move to the question for Andrea. The question is coming from MC, and it says, OER third sector can support the operations besides sign-ups and IGV openings. You have 30 seconds to think. Andrea, you can go.
Yes, so basically I would go with the 2 main points. The first one is, as I said before, the education for the finance or the VP IGV sales, because I think that having a main like one final responsible for each LC could be a real game changer. But we, as I said before, we have to understand better our markets. So having each LC one point of reference should be really useful. And also it should be useful for the partnership that we are having, because we can manage to make them grow in a cool way. And the second is for awareness, because I think that some LCs have a real potential, but they don't know the possibilities in their local.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Your time is up.
Okay.
Next question is for the digital marketing candidates. The order is Mara and then Evandro, and the question is coming from Isaac in Venezia. The question says, according to the main differences between digital marketing in Isaac in Italy and in your entity, do you have some GCPs that you would like to bring to Italy?
Okay, I'm ready. I would love to bring to Italy two main GCPs. The first one is how we use brand advocacy in our digital marketing strategy, and the second one is how we track sign up to approved. So for brand advocacy, we have really been putting this as a separate focus, and we are constantly together with our EPs creating video materials and now also podcast materials. And both of those things are becoming increasingly more important in our marketing strategies, especially now that Gen Z is entering our market. The second thing is how we track source, or how we track sign up to approved, and especially how we can specify this by source. So I know exactly per source how the sign up to approved conversion rate is. And this really helps us decide which sources to focus on. And for example, which sources bring us a lot of sign-ups, but especially which sources really help in converting people to approve. And I think those two things can really, I can really use to increase digital marketing performance in Italy.
Thank you. Evandro, you can start. You have 1 minute.
Okay, so when talking about digital marketing, one big important thing is the digital infrastructure that we have. So when we started working here, we started to improving our digital infrastructure to be able to deliver a great experience to our customers, a good digital experience. As also as a part of the global project Leon customer experience, I was able to understand how to make this experience frictionless. So the main two things that we're going to implement, it's re-updating the infrastructure and connecting the infrastructure that we have in our web pages, in our Facebook accounts with the other tools, like for example, the implementation of a market optimization tool that will be able to measure the lead source, and not only the source, but how is the lead behaving in our web page, how is the lead behaving in the platform, is he applying, is he looking into opportunities, what is he doing? And this measure, it's an automated measurement because it's connected to an app that I developed together with my team here, and it's basically connecting with a marketing automation tool with expat things. So this tool basically understand how is the customer behaviors and biggest insights in how the ads are behaving. Thank you.
Okay, so next question is for the B2C candidates. The question is coming from MC, and the order is Grazia, Pietro, and Fernanda. And the question is, what's, in your opinion, the UR work of the LC, and what should happen next year? You have 30 seconds to think. Grazia, you can start.
Okay. In the previous semester, it was not constant. In this moment, new VPs are improving, but we can do better. Establish promoter network that can be a game changer in this moment for new initiatives. And I think that the main things that we can do in order to improving UR is to have a scheduled path with university that can part from the national side, so some improvement that in all the university we can do. For example, email and newsletter system from the university to students.
Thank you so much. Pietro, you can go.
Okay, so first, in my opinion, every LC should have clear a mapping of the university, of all the departments and offices, and how their timeline works, so that they can create their own timeline where to approach these offices, these departments, these professors, and having clear the leads and the deliverables that they need to do in order to obtain UR activities. Then it's also a matter of prioritization. In my opinion, many artists don't have clear where they should start, where they should concentrate in order to start having UR activities. So I have a clear priority system in where to start. and also focus more on pro-promoters and building like a system of pro-promoters and a CRM for them in order to maintain relations and organize events, lessons with them. And that's all.
Thank you so much. Fernanda, you can go.
So for my side, I think that we should start treating them as partners. So all the things that is related, like nights with them, understanding what they want, what they need, that it could be told the CRM customers for them, that actually can, like, somehow we can set some agreements with them that can be like evolving in scholarships. There are like subsidies by the universities, how they actually can give us some trainings and I don't know, the teachers on the field for train our members, and also how we can approach easier to the, for example, if some deans are more eager to work with us, how we can approach more to that kind of customers that are, like, for example, administration or something like this, that will allow us to go more faster and smooth through the process, how we are communicating with the universities.
Thank you so much. Let's move to the question for Marquis. Saraceno starts, and the question is from MC. The question says, how is ER Corporate supporting operations? You have 30 seconds to think. You can start, you have 1 minute.
Okay, thank you so much. ER Corporate is supporting operation by a scholarship for outgoing projects, openings for incoming global volunteer projects, and also providing sign-ups from the public relation department. And okay, I think these are the three main elements I found, and then also by providing revenues that can be reinvested in marketing promotion or other initiatives like influencer strategy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Altro Marco, you can go.
Okay, I'm really aligned with what Marco just said. We are ER Corporate is supporting operations with IGV fundraising campaigns, so getting money to make our projects happen, open branded projects about new topics, and with OGX scholarships, so gathering money to add value to the experience of our EPs, and then of course by bringing sign-ups from PR. And that's it.
Thank you so much. Next question is for Andrea, and it's from Isaac in Bologna. The question says, start, stop, continue of ER third sector strategy of the last semester. You have 30 seconds to think, starting from now. Andrea, you can go.
Okay, so for the start part, I would go with more NGOs in one protocolo d'intesa for making sure that every else can join the contribute of these partnerships. Then measure of impact, which usually are something that really attraggono, diciamo, our partners. So being able to tell them, okay, we this kind of partnership, you are able to impact this amount of people. Then foundation IGV fundraising in terms of we can like use revenues to coprire some problems that LCs are having, for example, with accommodation, but also with other things, and with the shared revenues when it's possible, because I think they can make our process time better and our contribute more directly in terms both of operation and revenues for the entity.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Next question is for Mara and is from MC. The question says, how would you improve entities' social media, since you were mentioning a lot the importance of them? You have 30 seconds to think. Mara, you can start.
Thank you. So I would focus on two main things. The first part is related to what I mentioned before. It's both related to content creation and brand advocacy. So I really focus on getting the right system in place, both on national and local level. How can we generate user-created content? How can we collect user-generated content in order to improve the relevance of our social media content? Then the second part I would love to focus on is how to create a sort of two-step social media flow, because what you want to create is you want certain content that really generates interest in the people who watch your social media. So you would promote both your countries in general and your product in general. And you really want people to feel like, I want to go abroad, I'm missing something, before you show them the opportunities which get them to apply. It's really important to focus on this sort of two-step approach, and first making people really feel that they want to go abroad and feel that they want to do something extra next to their studies, and then you offer them opportunities or offer them specific products they can go on. Thank you.
Next question is for Evandro. It's from MC. You have 30 seconds to think. The question is, referring to your application, how would you improve Italian users' experience? Evandro, you can start.
Okay, so basically I would start refreshing the web page. Our web page today is a product-focused web page, not a customer-focused web page. We talk a lot about our products, but not how to solve the problems of our customers. The second thing is target audience. So improve how are we achieving our audience, our target audience, and doing that by basically data analyzing. This third thing would be automatizations, and this would be connection with Crispy and chatbots. So how can we use chatbots and Crispy and automatization to give to the customer the help he needs exactly in the time that he needs, and also create a flow where we'll be able to understand what are the persons that will be that they just want information, and what are the people that are already nurtured, already ready to be contacted and to be driven with support. So we'll be able to decrease the human efforts that we have in the OGX team, because the OGX have a lot of people to process and cannot focus on all of them. So we'll be able to understand who are the people that already is ready to be contacted by some of projects, and who are the people that need to be nurtured. Thank you.
Next question is for Pietro, and it says, referring to your application, mention 3 action steps to reintegrate 50% of the realization. The question is from Roma 3, and you have 30 seconds to think. Pietro, feel free to go.
Okay, so first step is to create a more structured nurturing strategy to make people come to the risk, because one of the main problems is that people actually don't come to the risk. So a more structured process from now to assicurarsi that. Then also more structured in a way that actually make people understand the importance of what they did about ISEC and how actually they are entering ISEC can continue their experience that they have been doing abroad. And final is one of the other popped up in my mind, that is creating a national conference for the people that have come back from their realization, so that they can come to the conference and get more engaged about ISEC values and ISEC experience in general, and therefore improving our
Pietro, your time is up. Next question is from Isaac Verona and is just for Grazia. The question says, how would you downscale the data collection strategy at local level, ensuring that all the LCs are working on that? And which data you think would be important to collect? You have 30 seconds to think. Grazie, you can go.
Okay. I think that the best way to do this is a post-on workplace with every LCS should have a tool with at local level from offline contact to approval for to track every contact that we collect in the process how they going on, and the downscaling, yes, can be a post-on workplace, but the important thing is that VPs can do data analysis. So it's for VPs, obviously, understand the way of working, how is going on. Vabbè, ciao. This is it.
Okay, thank you so much, Grazia. Next question is just for Fernanda and is from the MC. The question says, taking your OGX experience from stranger to applicants, question number 10 of the application package. Which are the 2 steps of the Italian customer flow that you would like to improve? You have 30 seconds to think. Fernanda, you can go. You have 1 minute.
So the first one is how the whole information is get together for the person, specifically like how do you say, clear for them. So they might have questions in each of the processes. So it should be done even if there's physical attraction, if it's digital attraction, if it's an inbox or emails or I don't know, referral situation. They all have to have the same knowledge. So for sure that would be an improvement that I would put in the flow. And also how all the strategies are together to one single point that I put it as a sign-up form that is in isec.it. That it should be the main focus and how we can lead nurturing through it and how we can actually put all the information together for them when they get the time to explore and all this stuff will be really aligned with all of the touch points that it might happen.
Thank you so much, Fer. Next question is for ER candidates. The order is going to be Andrea, Matteucci, and Saraceno. And the question is from the MC, and it says, what should be your lag measure and why? You have 30 seconds to think. Andrea, you can go.
Okay, so for the art sector, I would say the number of openings, the number of revenues from foundations, and the number of integrated project with the other team. So both with like PR and both with the CSR projects, and I will track it in terms of revenues too. And see, that's it.
Thank you. First, Marco, you can go.
Okay, I would say, first of all, for corporates, the main lag would be revenues, because it's where basically the magic happens. Then it would be revenues. So I would split revenues in revenues from accounts, so from partnerships that they had to pay, and revenues for new partnerships. Then sign-ups from PR initiatives that are in the index of relevancy, and openings for the third sector. And that's it.
Other Marco, you can go.
Okay, thank you. Okay, as a corporate candidate, my main lag measures would be, of course, revenues, as Marco said, because the revenues are linked to CSR and youth engagement, that are the main point of what I said before and my application too. But most of all, I think also another important thing that brings revenues are scholarship. If we think about that, scholarship cannot be just the cost of the project. And I think so. My lag measure will be most of all revenues and the number of scholarship I can get from partnership. For the reason I said. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Next question is for all the candidates. And the question is from the MC, and it says, how did you prepare for the process? Is there something you would like to change? And the order is Andrea, Matteucci, Saraceno, Grazia, Pietro, Fernanda, Evandro, and Mara. You have 30 seconds to think. Andrea, you can start.
Okay, so I did like 10 chats with different kind of profiles. Internals, so from the MC, externals from other countries, other entities, and also previous MC members. Then also with I don't know if it's the right word, but like GCP and chats with the other candidates, because I was curious, and I think that the confrontation is best a cool thing. And also from my personal side, it was a long process, and I discussed it with some points of reference of mine, like in my life in general. That's it.
Thank you so much. Marco, number 1, you can go.
Okay, basically, yes, me too. I had some chats with everyone that I felt could be helpful for different purposes. Then after the application, I started like reviewing the application, because after every application, I feel like the application is not complete and I have to specify things. So reviewing it. Then also thanks to Marco and Andrea, we chatted, we reviewed applications, we gave some feedbacks. So we corroborated the things that we were thinking. And if I would change something, it would be like explaining in more deep way some things that could be not so clear in the application, but in my mind are more. That's it.
Marco, altro, you can go.
Okay, I also ask a lot of people too, like from the current OD department, B2C department, especially for ER department, especially from the current corporate MCVP, and also the former corporate MCVP. And I also had a chat with Marco and Andrea, very, very useful. And also I read again my application in order to find what's missing, feedback about all the people I know that could be interested in. And if I would like to change something from my application, will be the graphic. I would like to give a more structured, and I will put more data on the application. That's it.
Thank you so much. Next one can go.
Okay. I don't think I would like to change anything. I believe in what I wrote in the application. The only thing I could do was an accelerated English course and drink less coffee today, maybe.
Thank you so much. Grazie. Next one can go, Fernanda.
Okay, so from my side, I was researching a lot about the country, how I can like feel related also with mine and have some synergy points so I can be passionate about it. Then I was reading a lot about all the information that I was in the hub, all the historical data, all the things that I can approach, all the Q&As and everything. Then I was reaching some of the people that it was from the previous in the previous MC, and also I was looking for people that are currently in the MC. Something I would change for definitely, I will approach more to LCVPs. They are the guys who are in the field doing this stuff, so I didn't manage. And also for the MCVPs that are currently working on it.
Okay, Pietro, you can go.
Yes, okay, so I talked a lot with some VPs from the network in order to get some input and insights from the internal part of the network. Then I've done some chat with MCVPs of the current MC, and I also spoke with MCVPs from other entities to get some GCPs to implement in our network. Then I also checked the guidelines and materials that I could find in the hub and generally online. If I would change something, well, I know that I didn't. Sometimes I'm not very good at explaining myself and in communicating the things in the way I could do. But that so.
Thank you, Pietro. Evandro, you can go.
Okay, so first of all, to have more time to prepare for this space and to prepare myself. The second thing would be like to get to know more about the history of the entity, not only the situation, the current situation, but to know like about the history of the entity, to have more chats with previous MCs. Also would be great in order to propose more concrete evolutions. Would be awesome to have access to some more data regarding like web sessions, regarding like to have a bit more info about campaigns that we're running, because when talking about like the strategies to propose something concrete, we have to focus ourselves in the data that we have. And like personally, I'm really satisfied with the process. I'm really proud of my application. And I also want to thank you for this space. That's it.
Thank you so much. Mara, you can start.
Thank you. All right. So what I've done to prepare is mainly talk to people and dive into data. Both things gave me a lot of insights. So especially talking with some current LCPs marketing and some current LCPs, and also talking with Ale and Georgia about the current state of marketing. I would have loved to speak to even more LCPs marketing because of what I said. It gave me so many good insights. And I would have also loved to dive even deeper into the data and access more specific types of data. So I would have been very interested to see more precise data like Facebook ads performance. Both things, so talking to more LSVPs marketing and accessing more deeper data, I think is also something I can still do in the rest of the process. So that's something that I can keep on learning about. And I would love to do that. Thank you.
Congratulations, guys!
Yay!
Woo! Yay! Woo!
You survived!
Bravi raga. So again, yes, you survived your second step of this process. What's gonna happen now is that in the following days, when all the Q&As are gonna be over, SCPs are gonna give their vote of confidence, and so you're gonna receive news from us based on the vote of confidence, and then we're gonna explain the next step of the process, and that's it.
Yes, bravi guys.
We have bravi. You survived.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Ciao, people.
Ciao.
Bye.